Def Rebel. Para gawa ng theme si Finn Balor.
Bueno, siya, palitan niyo si Def Rebel. Oh.
Well, he's going away.
For our listeners and viewers na napadpad dito sa usapang to, we have to establish that Jasper is a Finn Balor simp.
I'm kind of over the old one. I'm an Alter Bridge fan, but I'm kind of over the old theme.
Yeah, but it doesn't help that Damian Priest's current theme song sounds like the other side. So
No, it doesn't.
It kind of does. The intro and it was
what's up,
inspired.
I'm gonna have to side with Stan here. Medyo malayo. It's like if you know your rock, it's not. Medyo malayo naman. I can tell those apart.
So the other side actually sounded like a song that could exist outside wrestling. Whereas Damian Priest's
because it
song
does.
is really just a
It is. It
Yeah,
does.
I know.
It does exist
I know.
outside wrestling.
Yun nga, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a
Okay.
song that exists outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I know that it does. Diba? But yung kay Damian Priest, halatang wrestling theme siya.
Jasper.
Yes, wrestling theme,
Yung-
production values.
Sabi ni Jasper, he would just use yung ginagamit ni Balor previously, yung remix of his old theme song.
The remix of the old theme.
Of Catch Your Breath.
That was worse though. God.
Just bring back Catch Your Breath. I mean, that theme is
Wala, ayaw na bayaran si Sifos eh.
They,
May
they
tanong si
brought
Doc
it.
G, may mga New Year's resolution pa raw ba tayo?
I do, but I don't want to say it because I now believe in not cluing people into your plans.
Kahit na manifesting yun.
Yeah, I mean, you can manifest it privately, but the moment you tell people, mas madaling i-break eh.
Ako naman mas gusto ko yung may parang to-do list instead of a New Year's resolution. Kasi New Year's resolution, diba, parang I will change this. Kunwari, I will quit procrastinating, diba? Instead of that, I'd rather set a goal for the year.
Yeah, mine is that way. Mine is a goal. It's technically a resolution that I wanted to put into effect this year.
That's much better than the resolution, honestly.
Kasi yung resolution parang may nega tapos
Resolution.
babaguhin mo, diba?
Yeah.
Resolution ko manalo ng Squid Games eh. Pwede ba yun? It's like
Good luck.
Survive ka muna.
Kaya nga manalo.
Kaya red
diba?
light, green light pa lang,
by-
take yan eh.
Anong time mo sa red light, green light, by the way? It's like the hardest 40-yard dash ever.
Gago si Chino yung tataguan ng mga tao sa red light, green light. Doon sila sa likod ni Chino. Paano kung may Thanos din sa
I
grupo ni
figured it
Chino?
out,
Wala na,
feeling
tegi
ko
na siya.
Kaya feeling ko na-figure out ko na din yung red light, green light eh. You gotta stop
diba
even if the thing doesn't turn around.
Di ba nga ibahin ni frontman yung game susunod?
Hello, D-Prime. What's good, man?
What's up,
D-Prime,
D-Prime?
what's up, brother? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everyone.
May tanong si Angela.
Yung first ever na may Tagalog audio is the December 9 episode of Raw. And then we did December 16, and then we did December 30. So, yun.
Yun.
Kung may papakinggan kayo yung
Actually,
December 30 na lang.
I get
Kasi
to
yung
watch
9 and 16, kapaan pa kami.
Yun. So, alam nyo na.
Sige.
May NXT rin kami
We'll
kung
keep
sino
in mind.
December 17 yung matino-tino. Balik tayo sa Squid Game chances ni
That's
Chino. Ano yung chances ni Chino na makakahanap siya ng kamingle?
Frontman daw sa Squid Game si ZSJ talaga, sabi ni Lance.
Laban na ng gwapo si ZSJ at si Lee Byung-hun. Hirap nung mingle o paano kung may kasama ka na tapos natulak ka. Wala na.
It's okay, Bruce.
What's
Yeah,
up?
it's okay. I forgot to post them. I forgot to remind people in my stream today. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, shut up.
I'm the best wrestler in the world. My name is Colin Cash Money Cannon.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
What do we want to talk about?
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name.
Say his name and he appears.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov.
It's LA Knight's game. Yeah.
She's on me, bitch.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
You have a father, but your father's dead.
G'day everyone, TMDK Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles here.
And you're listening.
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
I love you, Solo. I love you, Solo. I love you, Solo.
You're watching and listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Happy New Year, everyone!
Happy New Year, guys!
Happy New Year, everyone!
Stan Ciro, Moran, Chino Liao, and Emil Nate checking in for our first live stream of 2025. Pasalamatan naman natin si babyface producer Jasper na kahit holidays, tinrabaho niya na lagyan ng boo sound effects yung shoutout ni Xavier Woods.
You didn't ask him to do any of that.
Oo. Di namin hiningi yun. Pero ginusto namin.
Yun.
Diba? Habang lahat tayo nagpapakataba nung holiday, si Jasper nagtatrabaho. Paano ko i-enhance yung OBB ng wrestling podcast? Bang klase talaga si Jasper, grabe. So thank you, babyface Jasper.
Kaya araw gagawa niya talaga ng music si Finn Balor. Sense ko yun.
Yeah, we're manifesting it for Jasper.
Oh, we're doing that for him.
People. Yeah.
Diba? So, hindi niya ginagawa. Tayong nagmamanifest para kay babyface producer Jasper. So manifest din natin mga kapodcast. Pati na rin yung pagbabalik ni Rowan ASH. One day.
Kulitin niyo si Rowan.
How is that guy?
Nag-aaral kasi siya. Nag-aaral siya.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a really good dentist someday.
Yeah,
I'd like to think so. I hope so.
Kinontrata ko na siya eh.
For the sake of the tuition na binabayad ng nina Mr. and Mrs. Camacho, sana naman maging magaling na dentista si Rowan. Okay, we got a lot to talk about as usual. Big January up ahead. But first, let's start with some plugs. Emil, let the people know how they can keep supporting the pod.
Happy New Year, guys. And two ways to continue to support the podcast is through Patreon and Gank. The links are right there below, patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod for only $5. So very sulit. You'll get benefits, you get perks. The Discord community is always fun. Always fun to talk to these guys on a daily basis, asking questions and all that. We also got the review content of the weekly wrestling shows. Yung pag Patreon ka, may automatic meron kang table sa mga viewing parties namin. And now you can also gift a sub. Sa Patreon lang yun, no? Yung
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can also, if you want to spread the joy, spread the fun, you could gift a sub through our Patreon. So again, the link's right there below, and keep supporting the pod, going strong in its 11th year, going to its 11th year. Links are right there below, patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod.
Hey, I just wanted to add, for those who have tried to sign up for Patreon and the decline for one reason or another, I said Patreon is kind of finicky with cards, especially if they're from here in the Philippines. Gank is way more reliable. Like, I've had someone switch over to Gank kasi you can pay via GCash or Maya, and yun, di ka na problema sa pag-accept ng bayad mo. So if you've been thinking about supporting us, please do. it's really much more reliable via Gank. I don't want to bash Patreon or anything because we made our money through Patreon. But if you just had problems, then Gank is the way to go. Ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod.
All right. Ro, pa-plug pa ba natin yung bundle ng Convergent
Yeah.
Netflix?
Hell yeah.
Hell
Why
yeah.
not? Because we nabasa rin namin na hindi kasama ang WWE sa Netflix Philippines. Hindi kasama ang Netflix Philippines sa WWE. But the Converge and Netflix plans also include a free Blast TV subscription. So you might want to get that so that you can get your wrestling fix no matter which approach you try. So whether you're going to Blast TV or using a VPN to watch the newly installed WWE content on Netflix, this is the way to go. Plan $17.98 for the basic plan with 300 Mbps plus 25 Mbps. Then all the way up to plan 2298 for Netflix Premium with the same stuff plus 200 Mbps. So yon, as we will talk about in a bit, this is very useful because of a new feature on Netflix.
Yun, pag-usapan na natin. Jasper, pull it up. So, it is official. Meron ng Tagalog commentary for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, everything that we watch on the regular from the WWE. So, we're really proud to announce that. Kami ni Carlo Pamintuan, we've been sitting on this news since October of last year. And now that it's out, now that you can actually access it, we might as well tell everyone that it's there. Okay? So, yung official start date namin for the weekly shows is the January 6 edition of Raw. So that week, Raw, NXT, SmackDown, then the PLEs, yun, lahat gagawin natin yan for Tagalog commentary. Medyo problema lang na we can't access it through Netflix here in the Philippines because the broadcast rights are still with Tap Sports or Tap Go or Blast TV. So, if you want to watch your WWE stuff, then go there and then yung PLEs nasa WWE Network pa rin. But if you really want to watch Tagalog commentary or you really want to say na, uy, nakapanood ako ng WWE on Netflix, may VPN naman. Legal pa rin naman yun, di ba? Magbabayad ka ng VPN and then you watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT on Netflix. So you can go to like New Zealand or I believe Japan, Korea,
UK,
those places.
yeah.
UK, di ba? Canada, you wanna go to Saudi for all I know, meron din kasi may Arabic commentary din naman, di ba? Czech Republic, di ba? Okay din ang mga content mula sa Czech Republic, if you know, you know. Hungary, yun. So, yun ang mga pwede yung puntahan na VPN countries. So, yun. We're really excited. We're really happy. Personally, it's a huge deal kasi it basically allows me and Carlo to, work wrestling full-time, which is, something that not really anyone can say. But we're really just happy that we can do this kasi even if hindi pa siya available for tayong mga Pinoy fans na nakasubscribe sa Netflix, it will be available once the broadcast rights get turned over to Netflix. So it's really a waiting game at this point kasi hindi rin namin alam when the broadcast rights situation will be aligned with the rest of the world. But
Mr.
as
Ovation,
it is,
what are you waiting for?
He's waiting for this deal. He's waiting for his money to come in. He has a deal.
Oo. May kontrata pa sila ng WWE. And I'm not gonna crap on that, diba? Kasi, syempre, ano pa rin yan? Pera pa rin yan one way or another. But yeah, if you guys want to watch yung Tagalog commentary, gusto nyong samplein, we actually already have yung mga dry run namin. Nakala namin hindi ere. We didn't know na isasama na nila. Totoo. Sabi nila sa amin, you're gonna call it as live. And we were watching and calling it nang nangyayari siya live. Tapos sabi nila, di ere yan. Pang-review nyo lang yan. Bigla kanina nag-check ako, uy, pucha, may Filipino commentary. Okay, I guess we're doing this. So, yan, if you want to watch it, I would actually recommend you watching December 30 edition of Raw. Yung may sagutan ni na Rollins and Punk sa main event spot. I'd like to think na medyo gamay na namin siya by then. If you want to catch NXT in Tagalog, it will be available yung December 17 and December 10 episodes. And then if you want to watch SmackDown, our first will technically be the one this weekend, January 4 Manila time. So yun.
What does Filipino commentary specifically entail?
Yeah. So basically kailangan namin i-translate lahat.
That's what I want to know.
No, syempre bawal. TV pa rin to, no ba?
It's Netflix. They cuss on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, okay, hindi ko alam kung yung Tagalog audio i-feed pala nila sa Top Sports. Paano ko sinabi ko, uy, PI, di ba? Tapos umere sa Top Sports, di ba? di na-delix pa si Top Sports sa MTRCB, kasalanan ko pa yun. Diba? So, huwag tayo magmumura.
I mean, to be fair, Netflix may mura. Ang daming mura, diba? So,
yes.
May
But this is for
Netflix.
television kasi. Television pa rin yung primary output nito. Ha?
May boobs pa? May dugo? Ano bang, what's the Netflix raw like?
That.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what the hard line is with Netflix these days. Pero sa amin, you call it pa rin as if you're broadcasting professionally.
Yeah, of
and then
course.
we have to translate everything. Like promos, vignettes, backstage segments, lahat. So, we don't do the voice acting naman na kunwari, like, galit na galit si Drew McIntyre. We're not gonna be as frothing at the mouth as he is. We're just gonna summarize what he said and paraphrase it in Tagalog, like something that your local Filipino fan na hindi masyado mag-English would be able to digest and understand. So yun lang
Ito,
naman.
maganda yung sinabi ni Jasper. Kala niya makakarinig din daw siya ng Seth fucking Rollins. which is what everybody wants. Everybody wants that. We know what they mean. With the freaking, right?
Tama din naman si Bruce, diba? Not everything needs to have cuss words.
Yeah, okay. Tama nga naman.
Except Seth fucking Rollins. That, I think, needs its cuss word.
The whole fucking show.
The whole fucking show.
Ganito yan, guys. Pag spinam nyo yung mga mura, eventually, mawawalan din siya ng impact, diba?
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So, yun. So, again, lilinawin natin, just because may Filipino audio na yung WWE on Netflix does not mean na ang Philippines ay part ng WWE on Netflix launch. We wish it was, but due to circumstances na hindi naman namin control, hindi talaga. Ganun talaga, di ba? May Blast TV, Tap Go, Tap Sports, and WWE Network pa rin naman. So yun, if ever you get to catch it, let us know what you think. Tag us, kami ni Carlo, at _Stancy, at Carlo_Pamintuan. Let us know what you think of hearing your weekly WWE shows on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. Big history for us, especially because NXT will be called in Tagalog for the very first time next week. So that's history right there. All right. Since we're talking about the streaming era for WWE, let's also talk about AEW and how may streaming na rin sila. Nasa Max na rin.
Yeah, no, we tried this out. Emil and I, we tried this out this morning. Kasi technically, when you really get down to it, AEW did beat WWE to the streaming game, at least in 2025. Diba? Like, if you want the simulcast thing, AEW did it first with the January 1 episode of Dynamite. And the streaming on Max is really good. Like, people have been complaining about the Netflix live streams nung Paul Tyson match, sometimes the NFL games on Christmas Day. But this was super good. Like, syempre, it's gonna waffle a little bit because of Philippine internet, but for the most part, it was super solid. It was steady, and it was. I even got 60 FPS at times. Like that was how good the Max streaming was. Unfortunately, you have to use the VPN. Even if we have Max here in the Philippines officially, because the international broadcast streaming rights are still with Triller TV. So you have to pay around 350 pesos, thereabouts, to Triller to get the simulcast on the site. Pero this one, ito kasi, it was made for the US. And again, it works super well. If you're an AEW fan and you happen to have a VPN, I would consider getting this because Max is also a little on the cheaper side compared to Netflix.
Yeah, plus their library of at least their first year is already there as well. If you want to watch older Dynamites, pero yeah, I will agree with what Bro said. Sobrang solid nung stream kanina, no. May mga times na nag-ano siya, lumalaban, but it's only for a second.
But it was super quick,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, super quick. So, and it doesn't. I don't think nag-buffer siya once. Talagang.
I did sa akin, pero mostly
okay.
it wasn't like anything that would ruin your day.
Exactly. So yun. But still, like we said, you still need the VPN because it's not yet available talaga yung default Max Philippines feed. So.
So yan kung may VPN kayo, gusto niyo na mag-stream ng legal, ng legit, hindi na tayo magkikita-kita dun sa website na may aso.
Yes.
Tsaka unang hirit. Yung foot archery queen.
Foot archery.
Hindi ko pa rin maalala yung pangalan niya. Basta si foot archery girl.
Yeah. It's always that same clip.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Okay, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about World's End and Fight for the Fallen. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. Let's start at the end of World's End and Fight for the Fallen. Diba? So we have the return of the rated R superstar, Cope. So what do you guys think about the name? He came back as Adam Copeland, diba? Or he came into AEW as Adam Copeland. And I've had a few hours to think about it. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, okay, gets naman, pangatlong Adam na siya. Diba? So medyo nakakalito, ang daming Adam sa AEW, diba? Pero it's the guy whose actual name is Adam. And the guy who, like the biggest name of them all, basically. And then he decided to make it short and go for Cope, similar to how he was known as Edge in WWE. 4 letters, 1 syllable. What do you think about the new name?
Yeah, I like it. It's what he wanted because he called himself on Instagram, on Twitter, rated R Cope. So I'm a names guy, and I fully believe that names are the best when they are as short, as simple, as easy to say, as easy to remember. Edge worked for him because it was short, even though nobody knew what an edge was. Diba? It was, again, edgy, and no pun somewhat intended, but it's branding. It really is branding. Adam Copeland was a mouthful to say, and going from Edge to Adam Copeland was a little hard, even though alam namang totoong pangalan niya. But to brand yourself as Cope, yes, it's going to invite a lot of the jokes from haters ng AEW. Now, AEW fans are Cope. That's what they do. But it's good to hear. It's good to say. It's easy to say. It's easy to remember. You don't have to get stuck with Adam Copeland in your tongue. Pause.
I thought there were a lot of harsh reactions to it, honestly.
Yeah.
Nakita ko kanina. Like a lot of people, I think I saw someone with the comment na should be removed from the WWE Hall of Fame. Like, what the hell is that? Dahil nagpalit siya ng pangalan?
Dahil nasa AEW siya.
Or like, come on. Like, this is I actually like this one as well. Mas simple. Cope. That's it. Adam Copeland nga. Masyadong mahaba. Mahaba na yung nickname niya, mahaba pa yung name. So I like this one. Makes everything simple.
Mm-hmm. I think it's an improvement. Sure. Do I like it? Not necessarily. Kasi I'm a big believer in wrestlers not using their real name. So I hate it when I see a wrestler leave a company and then appear like Nick Nemeth is the most recent example. Diba? I never associated Nick Nemeth with Dolph Ziggler. Kasi I've always believed the character of, in this example, Dolph Ziggler, to be larger than life. Diba? When Christian left the WWE, he didn't go by Jay Bird. He went by Christian Cage.
Because he already was going by Christian Cage before WWE.
Yeah.
Diba? So he could have easily gone to Jay Bird. Diba? But he didn't.
You know Bird's not his real last name, right?
Was it not? Basta whatever. His first name is Jay, though, diba?
Yeah.
It's Jay, though.
It's actually
diba?
William Jason, but yes.
Whatever. Diba? So parang sa akin lang is maybe a little more creative effort. Pero Cope is still an improvement. I didn't like that he was going by Adam Copeland. Just because hindi ko ma-associate yung rated R superstar with Adam Copeland. I always associated it with Edge. I'm still hoping that maybe one day they can get Edge back. Kinda like how they gave Rhodes back to Cody. So, but maybe before that day, we're stuck with Cope, and I guess I can learn to love it.
Mm-hmm. So we've got this new team between FTR and Cope. So they're calling themselves Rated FTR. I don't know about you guys, pero medyo nakakasawa na it's always like some conglomeration about like Rated RKO or but FTR also did this na before, diba?
CMFTR.
Yeah, si
CM Punk.
MFTR. Yeah, medyo nakasawa na siya for me. Pero sige, names aside, itong coalition na to against the Death Riders, what do you think about it? Kasi, to me, it kind of says na, okay, yung mga OGs talaga ng AEW, yung mga nandun from day one, hindi sila kasing lakas ng Death Riders kasi they can't step up. Or, yung the Elite, di ba? They tuck tail and then they ran. And then si Kenny Omega, di na siya part ng Elite. So, kayo, do you feel the same way?
Sige, you guys go first.
I think this is rated FTR is just a stopgap. I still think it goes back to the day ones. Like, ang nangyari lang kasi because all the day ones got together and they still can't defeat the Death Riders. So it's like they will step in muna, no? But I eventually think babalik din to either Orange or Darby. And nakita naman natin kanina, like they didn't really defeat Moxley. They defeated Utah. So it hasn't made the day ones look weak in my opinion.
I think to say that would mean to discredit AEW's whole identity. Kasi, di ba, in-establish nila yan for wrestlers by wrestlers. That's their whole credo when they started, di ba? So, parang to say na, mas bulakas pala itong mga dayo na to eh. Well, that's the point, man. That's the whole point. Lahat sila dayo, di ba? That's the whole point. It wouldn't have happened if nobody jumped ship. So, to say that is kind of ridiculous to me. Diba? To say na parang, mas malakas sila rated FTR kasi they came from this company so and so, right? But that's the whole point. The Bucks didn't originally come from AEW. Diba? They formed AEW because they wanted an alternative. And so parang yun yung hindi ko ma-wrap around eh. Kung ba't nila sinasabing mas mahina yung mga day ones eh. When essentially they're all refugees.
That's a good point, actually. Yes, I didn't think about it that way. But first, I'm okay with the team up ni FTR and Edge and Cope because if you know the backstory, you would know that FTR was Edge's Cope's guys when he was training for his comeback. So
kapitbahay sila ni Edge.
Yeah, that's why why the North Carolina show was really for them. Sila yung hometown boys sa Asheville show. I've had a while to think about it, and I think that okay lang matalo yung day ones, or these are the day ones. I would rather more call them the young guys. Like Jay White isn't a day one, diba, ng AEW. So he's really just more of a young guy compared to the veteran strength of Mox and Claudio, and not specifically Yuta and Marina Shafir. Okay lang sa akin ito if the story was that the young guys would learn to work together to take down the threat of the Death Riders, and it would be okay as well if the entire point of rated FTR stepping in to take over the fight would be to show the young guys that, okay, this is what you need to do if you want to beat them. Because the Death Riders want you to step up, and they're using every dirty tactic in the book. It doesn't have to be honorable to beat you. So you gotta get on the same page and figure out a way to not bicker amongst yourselves while you figure out how to beat the Death Riders at their own game. So if the story is headed that way and it's not just fan fiction in my head, I would praise it more, and I hope that it does turn out that way. We still have a while to let it unfold. But as it stands, I think people are kind of souring on it before the arrival of the return of Cope and FTR.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. We mentioned Kenny Omega earlier. He made his return on World's End, and now it seems he's going after Kazuchika Okada. So we're getting the Okada-Omega rivalry here sa AEW, and it's likely going to be for the Continental Championship since Okada retained his championship at the end of the Continental Classic tournament. So what do you guys think about this one?
Anyone notice that they keep on showing the all-in banner?
Yeah, it was very prominent because placement. Yeah, they obviously made it the WrestleMania sign for AEW.
So are they gonna save it for July? That's still 7 months, but okay, like a matchup this big deserves a spot like that. So what will Kenny do for the meantime? Like, are they gonna start the feud now, or are they gonna go separate
I-injure
ways
siya ulit ni
first?
Okada.
Are they gonna go separate ways first? Tapos magtatagpo na lang sila pag malapit na yung All-In. So, questions. This is some questions with this one, but I'm just glad that Kenny Omega is back.
I mean, yeah, totally understand why they would want this to maybe headline All In, because that is apparently their mania now. So, diba? For how they built, AEW's always had a hard time with long-term storytelling, and that it's been pretty much absent. So, it'll be interesting to see kung dun talaga papunta to, kasi we haven't really seen consistent storytelling from them in a while. So, if they really want to pull this off and make it special and not just rely on the chemistry that these two had in New Japan, diba? And those epic matches that they've had there, then this would be the perfect time for them to build off of that story and not just rely on the laurels that these two have.
I think it wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't think it was dumb storytelling. Like the entire point of Kenny being back was not specifically to challenge Okada for the championship. Remember, when Christopher Daniels reintroduced Kenny, it was in the context of, okay, I'm not the acting EVP anymore because Kenny is back. Diba? And Kenny was the guy that the Young Bucks kicked out of the Elite. So the story first is Kenny is going to bring back the power struggle story ng Elite, which was kind of abandoned after the Death Riders arrived. So I don't know how they're going to work their way around that, but I guess they will. But I think you have to address the Death Riders first, kasi ang weird na gagawin muna nila. I mean, ang weird na hahabol si Kenny ng championship without addressing the people who are tearing, or who literally want to tear down the company.
The company he is EVP of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yun pa.
That's why when we were predicting World's End, I was calling for Kenny to appear at the end, not against Okada, but against the Death Riders, because he's an EVP of the company in storyline. So, but let's see. Let's see.
I mean, siguro what if the story first was to, okay, establish mo muna sino yung totoong authority figure on paper. Is it the Young Bucks or is it Kenny? And then once that's sorted out, you go after the Death Riders.
Sabagay.
Eto, tanong ni Carlo, but walang ganti kasi the Young Bucks took Kenny Omega.
Exactly.
Because the Bucks aren't back yet. So,
I mean, but Okada's associated with the Bucks.
Sabagay, yeah. Oh, nga no, yeah. When they took Kenny out, yeah.
Yeah, so
that could be
Kenny
something they could work
back.
on. Dito sa 7 months or whatever. Diba? It'd be a good jumping off point kasi it's very obvious na receipts are owed. So maybe, hopefully, they address it.
All right, now let's get to a more current feud, and that's the one between Stefan and Trevor. So, if in case it wasn't clear to anyone, Ricochet has really gone off the deep end.
I love this. I love this for him. I love this for him.
I have something.
Heel Ricochet using scissors and stabbing Swerve in the head with them. Good God.
Yeah.
To be fair, say go, Chino, go.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that last time we talked about Ricochet, we were kind of unsure what he was doing with the whole, being annoying. Yeah. But it didn't take me long after that to realize, okay, he's intentionally being annoying. And now he's gone off the deep end. I just hope that this is good for him, because for the longest time we knew him as the babyface who was athletic and acrobatic. But I just want him now to really lean into being unhinged. I think he's using the heat that he's gotten for, inadvertently causing Samantha Irvin to leave WWE for however wrong that is, however false that is. And he's taking it, using it to his advantage. So I like this for him. It's really good. At least he is self-aware enough. Tony Khan is self-aware enough to know that people still are mad at Ricochet because of this or that, because of some weird, strange, toxic loyalty to WWE and everything.
Because
WWE.
wrestling fans are weird.
Yeah, pretty much. So, let's just lay off the Andrew Tate isms on social media, and we should be good.
Yeah, I love this for him. Man. I really love this for Ricochet because he's finally able to explore a side of himself na hindi niya nagawa sa WWE. Diba? So, the fact that he gets to be this smarmy heel and all of a sudden becomes this brutal heel and starts stabbing people with scissors now, it's something I never expected from him, to be honest. I always thought that pag dumadon niya ng AEW, he'd still be the same clean-cut baby face rather that jumps off ropes and stuff. Diba? But to see this whole aspect from him, very mind blowing. So I am very entertained, or sports entertained rather, that to see this from good old Trev here.
Trevor.
I actually think it was kind of too soon for him to be this unhinged. No, because
have you seen
toilet paper every week?
Have you seen what people have been saying about Ricochet? Are you telling me the man who is playing Nathan almost every week would not turn unhinged at the very inch of resistance?
Alam mo, hindi mo sasabihin yan pag hindi ginawa ni Ricochet eh. Pag hindi nag-unhinge si Ricochet, we'll be here in a different timeline and this will be the player-hated episode of the week.
Are you telling me Emil Nate is a better man than Ricochet?
No, because I enjoyed the humiliation nung World's End. And I thought, okay, this will slowly build into Ricochet descending into madness.
Bakit? Pag ikaw pinahiya ka ng ganun, di ka ba gagante na tulad ni Ricochet?
Emil, yo, have you seen what people have been saying about Ricochet?
Can somebody flash Anton Garcia's comment, please?
Since before he left WWE, since Samantha Irvin left WWE, do you not remember what people were saying?
Emil, listen to Anton Garcia.
I'm not saying I don't like it.
Was that not slow enough for you? Kunyari,
okay,
Emil,
I kind of forgot that they did that toilet ng Rampage.
Emil, kunyari si Ash. Si Ash umalis ng trabaho niya. Tapos ikaw yung may kasalanan. Ikaw yung pinagbibintangan kung bakit siya umalis ng trabaho. Ikaw yung minumura bakit siya umalis ng trabaho. Would you not go crazy and go shit on these fans?
Well, I would go about it a diplomatic way.
The man who is playing Nathan would go about it diplomatically? Are you kidding
Galit
me?
siya kay...
You shitting me? Galit kay Eddie Thorpe na diplomatic mo?
Galit siya kay Eddie Thorpe pero kay Ricochet okay lang.
I actually like the segment.
Tandaan natin, Emil, si Eddie Thorpe hindi na pahiya. Gago lang siya.
I just kind of they would like cook with this a little bit before descending into madness.
They were cooking with it for 3.
We
were wondering what was happening, and then if they didn't pull the trigger this early, we would still be wondering what he was doing with the whole Jadakiss.
The comments the listeners are turning on you in the comments, man.
I think it's because
now you're the Ricochet of this place.
Now you're the Ricochet. They're turning on you, and next week sasaksakin niya tayo with scissors.
Sasaksakin na.
I think it's also tayo mag-live recording sa TPN. Baka mamaya saksakin tayo ni Emil ng gunting.
I think it's
okay lang, maghahanda ako ng tissue paper para sa'yo.
I think it's because I enjoyed the annoying trying to be heel Ricochet. I really enjoyed that. So it was kind of a quick jump from to suddenly being a vicious heel. Like it was too soon in my opinion.
Wow. So just because you're a better man than Trevor, it's too soon for Trevor to snap after all the abuse that he has been getting his way since in the WWE days. Seriously,
that's not canon here in AEW.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I see dirt being thrown at this man on the internet. Like when the tissue paper thing happened, I saw Facebook pages talking shit about him when they were the ones being played. Because now Ricochet is more relevant than ever since even more than since he was in the WWE. In the WWE, he was always just that guy who did flips and sometimes had a nice feud. But now he's actually getting the character development that nobody seemed to know how to give him back in WWE.
Ito, Carlo, to add to the character development, the aha is actually effective kasi nakakainis siya, diba?
I actually enjoy that.
Who's to say that he's gonna stop doing it?
Oh, and the point is to get you to hate him, diba?
Yeah.
So,
I think he's doing that on purpose too. I think
exactly.
kung conscious siya sa pagiging annoying, then consciously, ginagawa niya yung to piss people like you off. Which works. Di ba? Kasi nagagalit tayo eh.
Hindi, pero kulang pa daw kay Emil Nate eh. Hindi pa daw siya magsasnap kung siya yung iaaha every week.
We are not condoning the TPing of Emil Nate at our events, ah. Don't make us ban toilet paper at the events, bro.
Ibaban natin si Emil from bringing scissors.
I'm not gonna bring scissors.
Kasi paano magugupitin yung stubs ng free iced tea?
Gugupitin mo na sa bahay.
All right. If for those of you who've been asking for some Japan talk, we've got some huge pay-per-views going on, diba, from Japan over the weekend. That's gonna be for our audio-only episode. So admin note lang, we're gonna be releasing the live stream audio-only versions this Friday, and then sasabay na rin natin doon yung predictions for Wrestle Kingdom 19 and Wrestle Dynasty. All right. So yun yung audio-only episode natin for the weekend. One more thing about Japan before we go to break. We have to talk about Omos crossing over to Pro Wrestling Noah and winning the GHC Tag Team Championships with Jack Morris. And Ro, I know you've been a fan of Jack Morris over the last couple of years. Yeah. How huge is this?
It's huge for Jack Morris because he's getting eyes that normally he would not get because he's stuck in the number 3 promotion in Japan. But Jack Morris is like this generation's Finn Balor in Japan. So he's that good. He's a solid foreigner, niche American. I think he's British or Scottish. But
British,
yeah. See, Omos naman, very little was asked of him no match, but he did the less is more thing really well, that he hung in there. He didn't look lost. He didn't seem like he was, a fish out of water in the Japanese wrestling arena. He wasn't he looked really comfy doing the small things that he was asked to do. He played the big man role really well. Syempre, all the other smaller guys were doing the bumping and the work rate for him. All he had to do was impose his will, impose his size, and he did that well. Like syempre, it's not hard to believe that a 7'4" monster would tower and dominate the under 6 foot guys, diba? So the fact that he was able to pull off what he was asked to do without looking helpless out there is already a good sign for Omos's excursion.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one. Did you see the reactions by the Japanese people? With almost online, like he's a lovable figure over there in Japan, and this will only help him, honestly, when he comes back to the United States and appear on WWE programming again. So this is a good excursion for Omos, and I just hope for the best for the big guy.
Yeah, shout out to Jack Morris getting the eyes that he needs, diba? Also, nakakatawa lang, just a thing that I noticed during this the press con that he did. Yung show, yung feat of strength ni Omos was binuhat niya yung babae.
Yeah.
What, bro? Okay, I get it. Yeah, but but
never
it's just that's just the funniest thing. Sobrang random na tinawag siya with his 2 other tag team partners, diba? To be this imposing. That's ang feat of strength niya. Binuhat niya yung babaeng announcer. And I was just laughing my ass off. But good job, Omos, man. Well deserved.
All right. We'll take a break. When we come back. And Veronica, hinihintay mo NXT New Year's Evil. We'll predict that. And we're also going to predict the January 6 Monday Night Raw Netflix premiere. That's after this quick break as we hear from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, we're going to start with New Year's Evil. We're going to save the January 6 Raw for the main event. Ito, predictions tayo. For New Year's Evil, we've got 5 announced matches on the card, and we'll start with the 6-woman tag team match between the team of Shotzi, Tatum Paxley, and Gigi Dolan, and they're taking on Fatal Influence.
This is actually kind of tough. I don't know what to make of this because you have Shotzi on the other team, but you also have a champion on the Fatal Influence team. So, in the interest of making the faces look a little strong, I will slightly reluctantly predict them to win.
So faces.
Yeah.
Actually, also the same thing. I think the baby faces win. Whoever pins, I think Fallon will be the one taking the pinfall here, and that person who will pin Fallon will have a title shot for the Women's North American Championship. And I think it's going to be Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. I thought it was going to be Shotzi.
Yeah,
just cause. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think if anything, Fatal Influence can eat the loss and not have it affect them so much. Diba? Anything, it pushes their story forward. Whereas with the faces, pag natalo sila, because this is such a temporary alliance, mabubuwag sila pag natalo sila. So I think the faces might walk away with the win here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to our next match for New Year's Evil. We have the number 1 contenders Fatal 4-way match. It's Stephanie Vaquer versus Kelani Jordan versus Lola Vice versus Cora Jade.
I don't know, man. How is this not Stephanie Vaquer to lose? But the division is deep when I cannot confidently pick just one to win this match.
Malay mo, Kelani Jordan snaps and turns heel here.
Yeah.
She's been showing signs lately.
Yep.
God. It really could be anyone. Like, I don't know. It depends on who wins the NXT Women's Championship, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sige, let's say Kalani for the for the new heel.
Mm-hmm.
Eto kasi depende kung when is the match gonna be for the championship, right? So kasi I think they should save Vaquer versus Julia for Stand and Deliver for the main.
Yeah, I agree.
For the Mania special. So if it's not there yet, so I wouldn't necessarily give her the number 1 contendership here yet. I would give it to Kalani. She has the most interesting storyline right now out of these 4. She's snapping, possibly turning heel. So I'll give Kalani here the win.
Wow. Ikaw, Chino. No one's picking Stephanie Vaquer.
North American pala. Akala ko Women's Championship eh. But still Kalani. I'll go with Kalani Jordan here.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to pick Stephanie Vaquer because they can easily make this a champion versus champion thing. If it is going to be a Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer thing. They've done it before. Diba? It's not out of the realm of possibilities here. I'm not saying I'm going to like it if it becomes a champion versus champion thing. Pero number 1 contenders pa lang naman to eh. So, if, let's say, tama tayo and Fallon eats the pin and it gives one of the other 3 faces a title shot, then it's just a stopgap for Fallon here, who still has to face off against somebody much larger. Kasi nga, di ba yung argument natin with Fallon Henley becoming the Women's North American Champion was that she was a transitional champion for somebody much larger. And I think that somebody much larger is Stephanie Vaquer, and that's how she gets to the North American title picture.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about the Heritage Cup. Kasi, okay, so let's set the table here. Hindi natin ito napag-usapan last week. Lexis King was the Heritage Cup champion for like a week. He won it because of William Regal's interference and the brass knuckles. Nakusahang si Charlie Dempsey na gumamit ng brass knuckles, so he got disqualified. And because of the Heritage Cup rules, Lexis King became the champion. And then Ava was like, no, not really. Charlie Dempsey's still champion. So now Dempsey's got the cup back. So now, kasi ina-argue ni Dempsey that Lexis King never pinned him, sudden death rules, one fall to a finish. That's how we got here for the Heritage Cup match happening at New Year's Evil. So does Lexis King finally get a win? Is he really a face here? Is he? Does anyone still believe na ang disingenuous niya? There's so many questions actually happening here. What is William Regal's role in all of this? Yun pa.
Jesus Christ. Why is it one fall to a finish? Hindi na wala na yung pagka-heritage cup niya. Diba?
It's for the
gusto nila
Heritage
decisive
Cup.
daw. Parang wala nang makikialam in whatever.
But two falls to a finish was even more decisive. Diba? When you think about it, because you have to win twice. Anyway, I think Lexis King finally wins, siguro with the help of William Regal. At this point, I hope that the result doesn't get overturned anymore. Kasi kung pwede pa lang i-overturn due to interference, then why isn't every other decision or championship decision not get overturned around here?
Nigigil yung si Eddie Thorpe eh.
Oh, nga. Diba? Yeah. Who, by the way, had his foot on the bottom, under the rope.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he should be the NXT champion by now.
Yeah. Ava is the worst GM.
Lexis King.
Wait, are we getting another Nathan segment here? Are we getting
unexpected though. Unexpected though.
Let me just say, Ava's the worst GM.
Wow.
Out of
2 weeks ago, you were
WWE
on her
history.
side. You were on her side for not giving Lexis King anything.
He's just the worst. No, because actually, look nung Lexis, nung Eddie Thorpe.
Sabi sa'yo, under the rope, no?
He has the foot under the rope, so he has
They better do something with that.
Yeah. So, but again, she's just, and then now doing this one, just the worst.
Anyway, sorry. Lexis King wins to solidify yung turning William Regal against his side.
Ava is a pushover. She's like the Adam Silver of WWE.
Whoa. Why are you saying this about the daughter of my boss, Emil?
Balik niyo yung play and hated. Jasper, balik mo yung play and hated. Come on.
Wala akong graphic today. I didn't know we were doing this.
I was watching NXT the other night. Right? Right, okay, for the match, yeah, they already teased Lexis King winning the championship. Might as well go all the way with it. I'm going Lexis King.
Oh, Tino.
Kind of want to thank Charlie Dempsey. I think William Regal is working Lexis King here. Right? To what extent, I don't know.
Anak niya, sinusuportahan niya. Ano pa ba?
Kaya nga, but diba nung una ayaw ni Charlie Dempsey? Right? He turned away William Regal, right? And said he was going to be better or something to that extent. So now William Regal's back and making his presence felt, helping out Lexis King. All right. I think William Regal screws over Lexis King, sides with Charlie Dempsey, and gives more sympathy towards this face Lexis King that people still don't believe is genuine or not. Diba?
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Diba? So parang it's a little convoluted, but I can totally see it happen. Diba? Parang William Regal's trying to get him to turn evil, to say na parang, I was right all along, pero hindi gumana. So now he has to resort to more nefarious means, which isn't beyond the realm
the Blackpool Combat Club.
Diba? Yeah. Not beyond the realm of possibilities for William Regal kasi may sister siya of kakupalan. So I'm gonna say Charlie Dempsey here.
Orlando Combat Club.
Sure. Sure.
Why not? Diba? Why not?
Yeah.
All right, next up, we've got the triple threat for the NXT Championship featuring Trick Williams, Oba Femi, and Emil Nate's favorite NXT superstar, Eddie Thorpe.
My real champion. It's tough. Would you crown a new champion at the end of New Year's Evil?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's like your day one show.
Yeah.
Sabagay. Sige, I think Obafemi wins to and we'll throw Emil a bone here because he pins Eddie Thorpe.
Ooh. I think Oba wins finally here. And Eddie will continue his feud with the Authority with Ava, I think. So Oba wins, Trick moves up to the main roster after this one.
No, kasi ako, ang thoughts ko lang dyan is, I like the idea of Oba winning, but I kind of wanted him to win a little bit more definitively and, one-on-one, diba? Clean pin over the champion. So, adding Eddie Thorpe to the mix here makes it murky a little bit for me. But I can also see him getting another rematch with Trick, or getting another rematch against him kung manalo man si Obafemi. So either way, panalo pa rin si Obafemi, right? So I'm also gonna say Obafemi.
All right. Okay, so we saved this one for last kasi we've been saying for weeks on the show na nasa NXT talaga yung pinakamalupit na women's division. So let's talk about Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship. This could main event, this could not main event. Frankly, I don't care at this point kasi I'm going to call the show anyway. But I want to save it for last because I'm so excited for this matchup.
Julia. Although it's possible that they save that for a bigger show. But
like Stand and Deliver?
Ano ba yung next na PLE?
Stand
Is
and
it already
Deliver?
Stand and Deliver?
Or
I think there's a
Vengeance Day, I guess?
Yeah, there's a February one. There's a February
yeah, kasi weekend, diba? Yeah.
Right.
So okay, if that's the case, I don't think Julia wins yet.
Ooh.
Yet.
I would say pull the trigger now.
I hope so, but I don't think. I think there's a chance that they save it.
Ako din
twice, she wouldn't look the best if she lost twice.
Yeah. Ako din.
Go cook, guys. Defend Julia here.
I believe Julia's already been through the ringer. The whole argument I had at the beginning of not wanting Julia to win in her very first match in NXT, or second match in NXT, was that she hasn't done enough yet to merit a women championship win right away. I believe she's already done enough. She's put in the work. She put in the miles to prove herself in NXT instead of relying on international accolades, diba? Nothing against that, but now that she's been in NXT for quite some time, she has tenure now, and she's able to prove na kaya niyang talunin si Roxanne Perez. And I totally agree that Roxanne should just drop the title now because she's had it for quite a while, diba? And not really progressing from the peak that she already reached. So, more than perfect time for Julia to walk away with the title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Sounds fun. So yeah, New Year's Evil, officially the first NXT episode na may Tagalog audio. You can go catch that on Netflix pag nag-VPN kayo. All right, one more break, and then we'll talk about Raw on Netflix on January 6th. But first, one last message from our friends over at the Pod Network. All right, let's set expectations for Raw on Netflix. What do you guys want to see, or what do you guys think will happen? Not just dun sa premiere episode, but maybe the viewing experience for for all of us WWE fans.
I expect it to be a rough 3 hours. Not because it's gonna be bad, but because it's a full 3 hours na is unprecedented for wrestling TV. For PLEs, for pay-per-views, okay lang yan eh. Pero this is gonna be a long time. I think may ads to Netflix. There might be ad breaks if I'm not mistaken, but still, when I get to watch it back on demand, I know it's gonna take up 3 hours of my time compared to 2 hours on TV before, diba? When it was 3 hours on TV on USA, and then compared to the 1.5 hours right now or before this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of expectations coming in. Based from my experience watching the Christmas NFL games, I expect almost less to no commercial breaks at all, because that's what they did nung football. They just aired some vignettes, and then there was a studio crew that they would go to pag timeouts or halftime. So I feel like ganun din. Like the thing that they do now on Raw, they have someone at the stands, yung si Jackie or si Vic Joseph last week. So I expect that to replace, I think, the ad breaks. And I think better product overall, because they have to step up their game here. I mean, they have more eyes now to the product than they did before, because Netflix is a worldwide thing. It's not just a USA thing anymore. It's like everyone else in the world has the access to watch Raw live. So I expect them to step their game up overall. So mataas yung expectations ko heading into next week.
I kind of was hoping that they stuck to the 2-hour time limit they ended 2024 with. Diba?
Yeah.
With the 2-hour time limit, they kind of did away with now because of Netflix. Kasi it just made for a tighter product, in my opinion. Right? Less time to fuck around. Really get to the point right away. Diba? But that said, we can wish all we want. We're getting 3 hours of Raw.
And SmackDown.
And SmackDown, right?
Oh,
Diba? So
SmackDown,
parang, on one hand, finally, dumating na siya sa Netflix. But on another, I think it's still gonna take a while for me to get used to pure 3 hours of no ad breaks whatsoever. Kasi ang haba nun. Tama kayo, ang haba nun. Yung scene nga na 3 hours, pinapause ko pa sa gitna eh. Just to take a breather. So what more this 3-hour Netflix Raw run? It's going to be a weekly thing, yun pa. Diba? So the consistency is also going to be affected here. How consistent are they going to be with this type of storytelling, with the production value, diba? With the demand that each production demands, for lack of a better term, on a weekly basis, diba? Daming moving parts niyan. So sana they can keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can say a lot about what you guys are saying, but I'll let you guys see na lang the first episode next week, and then we'll take it from there. So, one thing with regard to like programming or the content rather is, I guess there's a reason about why the rosters are this deep. Even with the 3-hour show, diba, we realized na hindi naman na ma-maximize lahat nung superstar. So maybe with the full 3 hours for Raw and or SmackDown, we actually get to see everybody across the card getting used, if not every week, every other week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's predict the card for Raw on Netflix. We'll start with Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. So for those who didn't know kung paano nabuo to, Jey Uso is defending Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso, both of whom were taken out by Drew over the last few weeks.
Yeah, Drew wins. I mean, they're re-pushing him after the loss to Punk, diba? So if he is the bloodline hunter, then eto na.
Yeah, Drew wins.
Yeah. I agree. Drew wins as well. Yeah, binibilang niya isa-isa eh. So, Sammy was the first victim. Now, Jay is the next one. So,
yeah, Jimmy, then Jay.
Jimmy, and then Jay. Yeah, so, isa-isa niya. So, Drew wins here.
All right. Next up, we get the beginning of The Last Dance. The John Cena Farewell Tour kicks off January 6th.
Ano gagawin niya?
Hey, shout out to Ronster.
Boss Ron,
Ron?
How are you, bro?
Boss Ron.
I think Cena cuts a promo. I mean, they got the time, so I guess he could do a match, like an impromptu match. Like, I don't know. Do a match with Dom? I don't know. Probably.
Open challenge.
Dom of all people.
Yeah.
Baka, sino ba pwede? Chad Gable, maybe? Baka na si Chad Gable.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess, yeah.
Diba? Like, somebody that can afford the loss.
Yeah.
My gut feel is he will just announce that he's entering himself in the Royal Rumble.
He already announced it.
Not
on
TV?
Doesn't matter. We already know he's in the Rumble. He's the first guy to announce himself in the Rumble.
Okay.
I-hype lang din niya ulit na, I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble, ha? Last ko na to, ha?
Yeah, kind of promo, pop everyone.
No, I think you open the tour with a match. It is a farewell tour. And it is...
It's also possible he does both. He cuts a promo,
sure.
Some asshole interrupts him, we get a match. Diba?
Mm-hmm.
Carlos saying Logan Paul.
In vain. Diba?
Oh, yeah, that guy. He's
I mean, he has to. I mean, they've been hyping him. Sinali siya nung kick-off eh. So I assume he's gonna be a part of this show.
Pwede din pala. Yeah, pwede. Actually, pwede. Diba? Yeah.
Okay, question for you guys. Do you really think na John Cena versus Logan Paul will be a surprise match?
What do you mean surprise? No. They're not gonna do a match with Logan Paul tomorrow, next week. They're just gonna have the confrontation and then
to start the feud.
I think you do a match with Cena because it is literally his farewell tour. And why wouldn't you kick it off with a match?
Man, if I go all the way to Las Vegas to watch John Cena's last match against Logan Paul,
Hindi niya last match yun. Last WrestleMania match lang naman.
Last WrestleMania.
Hindi, pero it will be the last time Chino sees him in person.
And it has to be against Logan Paul.
Hey, could happen to a better guy, Chino.
After I paid all that money to watch WrestleMania.
Oh, wait. Let's let the people know magkano ba ang winaldas mo para sa WrestleMania ticket.
Ikaw ba? Di ba binila ka ng ticket?
Hindi. But I still had to pay for all the things. So.
God damn.
Wasn't cheap, my guy. Wasn't cheap.
And you're getting a Logan Paul win over John Cena.
Jesus Christ.
You put over the young guy.
May play natin na rin si Chino pag uwi niya mula
start my own
WrestleMania.
segment pag nangyari yun. Mag-live ako right after. Fucking. If that happens.
Natin ang video yan.
Gawin natin yung video. Content yan, content. Okay, let's talk about the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley get the next chapter in their storied rivalry, which has happened for almost a year now. Last woman standing for the championship.
End this one,
Damn.
please. End this one already, man.
It's tough.
Yeah, end it.
I mean, you're gonna end it, but you're gonna go back to Rhea again. Either of these two as a
I don't care who
champion.
wins. Just end this goddamn
Ako, end
feud.
it with Liv winning. Rhea needs to stay away from the title. Liv wins.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Rhea's been champ for so long now. I think that she should go through the hero's journey of going back to being champion. So I'd have Liv retain here, but just end this feud. Just end this feud. Put Rhea to SmackDown. Put Rhea to SmackDown. Just
sure.
Separate them for a year. I don't want
naman, Emil, parang tino-torture ka. Oh, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. No, I hate this. End it already.
We're getting this
I
for
hate
so
hot
long.
women.
I'm because
hot women fighting. No, I don't.
Because they're holding the main event scene on Raw, women's division scene on Raw hostage for months now.
Okay, okay, fair. All right, next match we got to talk about is Tribal Combat. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala.
A SmackDown storyline on the Netflix debut of Raw.
It's not a SmackDown storyline. It's the storyline.
Oh, it's all encompassing at this point, Emil.
Okay. Solo wins. I got Solo winning this one. Roman Reigns needs to move away from all that Ula Fala stuff.
Ano papagawa mo sa kanya?
I want to agree with that, but it's Roman Reigns. Yes, Solo got over, but the end game that people wanted was to reinstall Roman after complaining about him for 3 years.
Wow.
Tama na. He has a point. He has a point. I've said it again and again on this fucking podcast. Nawala lang siya ng 5 months. Nakalimutan na natin lahat.
Exactly.
Nakalimutan na. Nawala lang siya for a while. Nakalimutan na natin lahat.
And I think Roman wins. I think they do the happy ending to keep people watching. Although, it's funny because Netflix shows are the masters of keep getting you to keep watching the next episode.
Yeah.
So it is entirely possible that Solo does win and beat Roman for good.
Wow.
I mean,
no, I think if Solo does win, it ends the story right there, and Roman gets to do other things. That doesn't necessarily keep people watching, diba? Kasi we want more of this apparently, even if it's been a 5-year saga now. Apparently, we still want more of this. So I say Roman wins just because of the metrics.
So I see two possible. Sorry, Emil. I see two possible outcomes. It's either one, Roman wins and Rock comes out to kick off whatever feud they have for WrestleMania, or two, Solo wins because of The Rock or Paul Heyman turning on Roman. So either scenario involves The Rock. Kasi it's a big episode.
Eto, you mentioned The Rock. Which other Anoa'i family member makes an appearance here? Do we get Hikuleo, Zela Fatu, Lance Anoa'i?
Ishan Maluta.
Si Nia Jax. Si Nia Jax.
Gago, lalabas si Ava para lalo magalit si Emil.
So if y'all are saying that The Rock is gonna appear, so y'all assuming this is gonna be the main event.
Yeah, dude, come on, it's Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Wasn't Punk Rollins supposed to be the main event?
Pala.
Diba?
They did announce na yung main event is Punk
Okay,
Rollins.
okay.
Alright, okay.
But
Okay,
I mean,
sige.
it doesn't stop.
Sorry.
It doesn't stop The Rock from appearing, though. I think The Rock could still totally
Chino is
appear.
also right.
Fair.
Yeah, it could be like the
That's fair.
second hour main event then.
Yeah.
Yep. Chino is correct.
Sige, by virtue of this not being the main event, I think Solo wins.
Ano, may lalabas bang Anoa'i family member?
Si Kuleo.
Si Bad Luck Fale.
Hindi naman siya part ng family, gago.
Extended family. Yeah. Extended family.
Okay.
By
No, not
virtue of the
even.
bullet.
Hindi,
By
diba?
virtue of the Bullet Club, diba?
He's
Hindi ba?
New Zealand. Is it
He's
Oo ba? Nagagago ka ba?
I don't know, man. Si
No, it could be the Tongans hired.
yeah,
Oh,
diba? Pwede, diba? Like, they called in a favor. Just like Paul Heyman.
Jeez. Okay, are we moving on to Punk versus Rollins?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins. Who you got?
Okay, before I predict this, I want to talk about the segment which we forgot to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The segment on Raw.
Mm.
So I've been pretty
Nagsunugan
hard
sila.
on Punk. Yeah, I've been pretty hard on Punk since Brawl Out. But this segment is, I think, what makes me, or what made me genuinely like him again, because he addressed yung underlying issues of why he left WWE and how he felt about leaving WWE under Vince. And when he stays in that lane, it's really, really good. And I don't care who you are, but if you stick up for the Vince era WWE like the way Seth did and justify it as staying in here and fighting and we won the war, you didn't win the war. You didn't win anything. Your boss got deposed over allegations. So he didn't stay and fight to win anything. So if you are the shill for Vince McMahon, you are automatically the heel in the story. And Seth tried to justify this whole thing by saying, "No, cancer ka, CM Punk." But that wasn't what you were saying when this whole thing started. If you said that earlier, if you had touched on Punk's recent history as a troublemaker in the locker room, then I could have had something with you. I could have had something to buy into when it comes to Seth. But because Punk leaned in to his personal feelings and the very valid, very justifiable reasons he left in the first place, compared to Seth's literal meltdown over being ghosted back in 2014, then talagang timpang ako dito, di ba? And I'm gonna call
Hellas
Punk,
frozen over. Ro is camping for CM Punk.
yeah,
Full
dude.
circle moment.
Pwede na akong bumili sa Roots of Fight. That's all I wanted, a reason to buy from Roots of Fight.
Wow.
I mean, no, because it's so much better when you stick to the script and not try to pull one over backstage and during a media.
Yeah, we
stuff.
should have had like a big go card for this episode.
Yeah, dude.
Diba? Yung galit ni Emil kay Ava at yung cheer ni Ro kay CM Punk. Two things we never expected to happen.
So going on to the actual prediction, because Seth got the last word in the promo, I am gonna say that Punk wins this one. Punk wins the first match, because I'm sure this is gonna go all the way to wherever have you, possibly WrestleMania.
I think this is the Mania feud. Now, I think this is already the Mania feud. So I think this is gonna be the first, maybe out of three. So I go with CM Punk here, doing this one. I would agree with Ro. CM Punk.
I will say that the only reason I don't want Punk to win is because it proves him right. Diba? The whole yung idea niya na mas magaling ako sa'yo kasi umalis ako kind of rubs me the wrong. It's very boomer in a way. Okay. Diba? If you think about it, na parang he's big broing Seth and he's saying na mali Seth because he stayed and he's saying that he's still right because he left, right? It's harkening back to those times na nandun siya sa Colt Cabana podcast, the trying to throw arrows, like he says, against the WWE, calling it all sorts of names, trying to bring it down, diba? So ako, the thing I didn't like about that was that fucking you had your chance, bro, and then hindi ka nag-succeed, diba? Until he said, and he's still insisting na tama siya. Right? I'm not defending the Vince era WWE here. I'm just saying na yung logic ni Punk done for me wasn't all there. Right? Which is why I don't want him to win. Now, if that will dictate whether he wins or not, is actually something else entirely, diba? Kasi if this is going to be a feud that goes all the way to WrestleMania, then it only makes sense na manalo siya on the biggest draw ever, right? So it makes sense kasi it gives them more legs to stand on if they push them with the story all the way to Mania. They still have 4 months now to work that in. So, and they have the Rumble to play around in. So I think, if anything, si CM Punk winning might just push the story forward. So I think Punk wins reluctantly.
I think it pushes Seth to be unhinged again. So I think that's where it's going.
Yeah. Yun pa,
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Good storytelling so far. As a joke, iniisip ko rin, ano kayang MacGuffin for this feud? Kasi diba, last time, yung friendship bracelet.
Si Becky
so this
Lynch.
time, ano kaya? Go.
Si Baby Roo, yung anak ni Seth.
He already brought. He did already bring it up. So.
Oh, di ba?
Huwag naman, bata yun. Dapat item lang, di ba? Inanimate object nga dapat eh.
Yung arrows.
Yeah,
the arrows that got stuck in Punk's back.
He's gonna come up with an arrow T-shirt, like.
Yeah, we'll see. Should be a lot of fun. Again, Raw on Netflix, January 6 sa States, January 7 dito sa atin. You can watch it live on Blast TV, or kung may VPN ka na pwede mong i-set sa ibang bansa, then go watch it on Netflix. And if you want to give Tagalog audio a shot, then please feel free. Carlo Pamintuan and I will be calling that historic Raw episode when it premieres on Netflix. All right, reminder ulit, programming note, if you want to catch our predictions for Wrestle Kingdom 19 and Wrestle Dynasty, obviously nag-extend na tong podcast na to, so we have to save it for our audio-only episode, which should be up on your feeds by the time you are hearing this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, in which case, please do leave us a comment and a 5-star rating as well. It'll do so much for us here on the podcast. All right, let's get some plugs. Chino, what's going on sa'yo?
Absolutely nothing, because I'm on break now until I get back from Mania, essentially.
Okay, cool.
I am doing so. Just check out Comedy Manila for all the shows. Check out the Wrestling podcast. I will be putting out new episodes of Class Clown before I leave. So yun, it's just more interviews until I wrap the season up and come back with a, let's say, new look for the pod. So I'll just keep you guys holding on to that, and then just follow me on social media at Chino Supersized for everything else.
All right, Emil, who are we playing Nathan on your Facebook streams?
Wala naman. I might do an NBA 2K stream this week. Hindi, kasi we're gonna do the Wrestle Kingdom pala. So Discord natin. So yun learn. Another reason to subscribe to our Discord. We're gonna have a Wrestle Kingdom / Wrestle Dynasty watch party over there. So yeah.
All right, Ro?
We may be having, I don't want to promise it yet, but we may be having a new episode of the Unmasked podcast this weekend. So let's pray that, the schedules and the stars align.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yun, I got my plugs in na kanina. So thank you everybody for catching another episode of the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. Thank you to babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for always putting us over and making us look and sound good. And we will catch you in the next one when we do weekend reacts and picks of the week. Make sure to follow the pod at Wrestling2X Pod on TikTok, Twitter, and Blue Sky, at Wrestling Podcast everywhere else. And individually, it is at Roes War, at Chino Supersized, at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, and at _Stan C. For Ro Moran, Chino Liao, and Emil Nate, I'm Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Happy New Year, Outcasts!
Peace. Happy New Year.